Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about the XL bully breed ban that is happening over in the UK. Now, while I am based here in the United States, we have been hearing a lot about what is going on over there, and I wanted to share some of my insights into what has essentially happened and how it got to the point that it's at. Also, what does it mean for the people who have XL bully breeds? Like, what are you supposed to do now? How can you fight against this? How can you actually potentially make a difference and get this overturned? Because this is quite a sad situation. And then I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts just on the whole thing. I think that I have a lot of opinions roaming around what's going on and just, yeah, like the government control and all of that. I feel like it hits close to home for us. We have two American bully breeds. If you haven't already, be sure to check out our Instagram and our Facebook. I've been sharing a lot about that situation there as well, and I have a quick 1-minute video recap on exactly what it means for people who have an XL bully breed. Now, I am reading off of a website called hoperescue.org, and I'll be sure to link it below. This rescue has the most updated information that I have seen so far, and they have a lot of great information for those with an XL bully breed who don't know what else to do. If you want to check that out, I would highly recommend going to that website, and it is a UK based website, obviously. I just start off with, you know, what the XL bully breed ban is. There's been numerous incidences that have happened over there with the XL bully breed type, and so they have just essentially determined, like, instead of slapping the hand of the humans responsible, they want to put it onto the breed itself. I mean, we have a pretty big community of people on our Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and to hear a lot of the people that have been affected by it is really saddening. To see the people affected by it is saddening. We have some friends out there in the UK, and it's tragic. I mean, I personally, my heart goes out to them and all the people affected by this. I've had people comment on, like, their dog being the family support for their child. Like, how are they supposed to then tell their child now that they can't have this dog because they can't afford to get it, you know, fixed, or, you know, whatever the circumstance may be. Yeah, I mean, it's just brutal. Or like the dog now can't go out in public with them like it used to, and their kid has, you know, a disability, and that was the support animal. Now it has to wear a muzzle, and it's like explaining that to a young kid who doesn't really understand. The whole situation is very saddening. There's a lot of unique circumstances. What this ultimately means is there's going to be a mass wipeout of the breed, and so anybody who has one that's still alive, and even if they were to fall under all of these categories where they've put the muzzle on, they've done the leash, they've done the neutering, they've done all of that, essentially once those dogs pass away, you know, down the road, then that will be the breed pretty much wiped out. It's weird to think about because on one hand, I'm not a fan of breeding in general. Like, I just feel like there's so many dogs out there that need homes that, I mean, I feel like it's fair that the breeding side of it would stop, but at the same time, like, they are such a beautiful dog, and they are such a kind, loving, caring dog. They're sweet natured. They are big, yes, and I'm sure if they were to do something, they could do damage for sure. I'm never gonna deny that. It's based on their sheer size, but I don't believe that's based on the dog itself. I do believe that's based on how the dog is raised. It's humans that raised it, the people in its life. Like, was it around kids? Did the kids hit the dog all the time so it became kid aggressive? You know, was there like, there's just no possible way that the dog itself can just like be born and raised a killer like that, you know, unless it's been taught how to, or it's been placed in positions where it's had to learn how to defend itself. I mean, I watch Cesar Millan all the time, not saying he's like the best of the best trainers, but he has a lot of great knowledge and insight, and he really works on training the person, not just the dog, because it's the person who ultimately is the pack leader of the dog, right? Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole, but you get my point. It's sad that the dog itself is going to be punished essentially for the human's actions, and these dogs are beautiful, and I just don't believe that that is fair, that, you know, poodle breeds or chihuahua breeds can be running around and they bite people just as much. Like, it has nothing to do with the breed, it has everything to do with the person. It's just unfortunate that the size of the breed is what is being taken into consideration, because the force it can have if something were to happen is a lot greater than if a Chihuahua were to bite you, for example. That's kind of like the background behind it all. So what I'm going to do is really quickly, I'm just going to go through some of the main points on this website. Again, it's linked below, so if you'd rather just go there, just click the link and read it yourself. But I'm just going to highlight the main things and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the first thing is, if you have an XL bully breed, it doesn't mean you have to turn it in. It just means that you have to apply for an exemption to get a certificate, basically, to say that you have the bully breed. And then you also have to follow the guidelines of the leashing protocol, the neutering protocol, the muzzling protocol. So if you have an American bully, don't worry, like, you don't have to get rid of your dog. However, for some people, it has placed a lot of pressure on them and it's put them in a position where they don't want to handle that, or they don't have the money to essentially apply for the exemption. And so what the government is doing is they're paying those people who don't have that opportunity $200 in their currency, obviously 200 pounds, I think, to essentially go in and get their dog euthanized, which I think is pathetic, because the cost of the exemption, I'm pretty sure, is like 94 pounds. And so I don't understand why they wouldn't help support people get their dog exempt, but they'll help support get the dog euthanized. It just seems bonkers to me. If you're not sure if you have an American XL bully, I have attached a link down below and it will tell you what the specifications are and the measurements, and it will also have like some images what an XL bully breed would look like. There is no like American Kennel Club breed specifications, so the UK government itself has created its own specifications with measurements and all of that. So if you're not sure, definitely check out the link. Make sure that you check, because it could impact how your dog gets treated from here on out. The next thing I want to update on is that now it's February 1st. So initially it was December 31st that people had to get an exemption for their dogs. I believe that date's moved to February 1st of 2024, that people have to get an exemption. Otherwise, it is illegal to own an American bully breed XL in England and Wales. I have attached the link below for where you can apply for that exemption. Make sure you check that out. If you haven't done that already, you have until January 31st to apply for it. Obviously, there's a lot of hearings and stuff that are still happening, I believe, in the court system over there for people to override all of this anyway. But I would say, just to be safe, at least put it on your calendar before the 31st of January to get your dog exempt. And if you need help financially with that, start a GoFundMe. There are so many people here in America that are willing to take on donations and stuff like that. So I would say, if you need financial help or assistance, like, reach out to people, try and do your due diligence first, and actually, make the money needed that you can get the exemption that you need, so that that is taken care of. So officially, as of now, it technically was December 31st. So all American XL bully breeds have to be leashed and muzzled when out in public. XL bully also must be microchipped, be neutered. It also must be kept in a secure place so that they cannot escape. So if you have an open yard or anything like that, your dog can't be freely wandering around. You need to have them in a secure area. You also must have third-party liability insurance for your dog, which I think is a good idea anyway, because I wouldn't want to be liable if something happens. I mean, that to me kind of makes sense. It's just unfortunate for those, again, who cannot afford it. So I would just look into that first thing. The owner of the breed has to be over 16. This is an interesting point that they put in there. I'm sure they've had some situations where kids have maybe owned dogs like this and couldn't handle them. So for some reason they put in a specification that you must be over 16. And the last point really is just, it's illegal now for any XL bully breed owner to sell, breed, or give away their dog after December 31st of 2023. If you have a dog in that category and you're now stuck with the dog, you're in a tough position. Your alternatives are essentially you get the exemption for the dog, or you have to go and euthanize your pet. There's no there's no other option, which is to me just crazy. There should be an option at least to rehome it maybe outside of the England, Wales area. So far they have not even mentioned that, and I would say maybe that would be a third alternative to look into. Some people that might be a little bit challenging. So yeah, you cannot obviously turn your dog into a shelter. If you do, I'm sure they're going to euthanize it. There's just a lot of different ramifications around that. So for anybody who has an XL bully breed and they weren't able to rehome it or relocate it before the December 31st cutoff, then you are definitely in a tough position, and your two options at this point is to get your dog exempt and to keep it, or to have it euthanized. So this is where it gets a bit interesting. This is my take on the whole situation. So from my understanding, there is a Dangerous Dog Act that has been around for 32 years, and since it has been implemented, the number of bites and incidences of dogs doing certain things has actually gone up instead of down, which is just showing that whatever they're trying to implement isn't working, and yet they're still trying to use the same tactics that they are using in order to place control over this breed. I feel as though the root of the issue is dealing with the breeders and the irresponsible pet owners, and instead of the UK government going after them, they are choosing to go after the breed itself, obviously resulting in a very sad situation. And so I would personally be fighting for this. Like, I would be coming to them with as much information and resources as possible. I'd be throwing stories at them. I would be going to every board meeting if I had the opportunity to. I would be showing people online. I would be posting so many videos of how friendly the dogs are, and really placing and pointing the finger at the UK government and the Dangerous Dogs Act committee, or whatever this organization is that is obviously determining which breeds are dangerous and which breeds aren't. If it was me in that situation, I know for sure that I would be at every possible meeting to essentially make sure that this doesn't actually take effect. Like, if there's any possible chance of it turning around, like, it needs to happen now. It cannot happen after the date, because by then it's going to be too late. There's going to be so many dogs that are going to get euthanized here after, I believe it's January 31st. The biggest thing is like finding an actual solution that's going to help everybody in this whole situation. I think targeting breeders, breeders that care more about profit over welfare of the dog, and then also targeting the irresponsible pet owners and having stronger implications for that would be more essential than, going after a dog breed. That is my take on it. That is some of the information I have. I've linked a bunch of resources down in the description area below, so if you have any questions or anything, please comment. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I'll also include the links to a petition that people can sign. I believe you have to be based in the UK though to sign it. Who's to say they know if I'm in the UK or not? I can find a fake a fake postal address or something if needed. Not saying to do that. That is all, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there, but if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm also going to be posting tons of tips and tricks on how to grow your dog's social media account. I have a content strategy guide linked below in case you are interested in attending that, but otherwise, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and be sure to stay tuned. Bye!